I am so excited to have the Secretary of Energy here in New Mexico. And, you know, Secretaries of Energy historically have always been connected to New Mexico, in part because of our national labs. But we also wanted to show some of the really important work that's being done on the ground in community here. And the partnership that we see between Prosperity Works and the city of Albuquerque with the mayor and Pat Davis, the city councilor. This is actually my old city council district. This is where I represented when I was on the council as well, and is now well represented by Pat Davis. And we have Ike Benton here, who's been a leader on these issues for years and years. The Southwest Energy Efficiency Project. The work that they've done together to be able to electrify homes, and just like the example that we just looked at with Energy Works, and it is really the standard for where we're going in the future to not only address climate, but also indoor air quality and comfort in homes and health. And so the state of New Mexico has done a remarkable job setting us on a course for zero carbon pollution with the Energy Transition Act. And that's the supply side of this climate transition. The demand side is that in our homes, we all have things that we have bought over the years that use internal combustion in our daily lives. From the cars that we choose to drive, to that gas water heater or that gas dryer or stove or furnace, that today there are appliances that are truly not only more efficient, but keep our indoor air quality healthier in our homes, especially for those of us who have you know, kids with asthma or an immunocompromised person in our family. And so this is really an incredible example at the local level of some of the work that we're doing at the national level to really incentivize replacing combustion infrastructure with the cleanest, most efficient infrastructure that we have. That's what my Zero Emissions Homes Act is all about, but they're doing it here now. And so it's really exciting for me to see. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to our recently elected member of Congress, who's going to tell you even more about what's going on here. Melanie Stansbury.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Senator, for that lovely introduction, and welcome, Madam Secretary. It's such an honor to have you visiting our beautiful home, and we're so grateful that you could take time out of your schedule to come here and to meet our communities. And I think one of the things that's so wonderful about being here today at Casa Shalom, thank you so much for hosting, is that this is really a demonstration project in the heart of our community that really demonstrates that intersection between social justice and sustainability. And how do we bring about a more climate resilient future while also empowering our communities and addressing justice and equity and access to home efficiency and improving the quality of life of our communities. So it is with great honor that I am here with you today. It's such an awesome opportunity to really highlight the work of the Community Energy Efficiency Project and to be here with all of our local leaders and to honor those who are really leading the charge here in New Mexico. So as we know, we're facing a major climate crisis at the national level, at the international level, and the work that we do at the most grassroots to address our carbon footprint, to empower our communities, and to reimagine and to build economic futures that are more resilient is really where the rubber hits the road. And that's why we're here today, is to really show how that touches down in our communities and literally inside our homes. So it's great to be here today. I was just elected 2 months ago to our Congress, but I've spent my entire career working on climate work, working at the intersection of science and sustainability and community development. And I've done a lot of that work in the legislature and had wonderful partnerships with some of the people who are here today. And we're hoping to really lift up that work in the coming weeks and months as Congress takes up this bipartisan infrastructure package, which the Senate passed last week with our reconciliation bill, which is part of Biden's American Families and Jobs Plan. And through the work that we're going to do in the coming months and years to really put our country on a path towards a carbon neutral future and a more climate resilient and sustainable and equitable future for our communities. And my commitment as your Congresswoman is really to help lead that work and to do so in a way that centers our communities and lifts them up in the process. And I think there's no one better to talk about centering our communities and lifting them up than a legend who's been doing that for so many years in our state and in our communities. And so I want to introduce you all to Ona Porter, who is with Prosperity Works, who has spent her career doing this work in our communities. Thank you so much, and please let's welcome Miss Porter.
And thank you so much for that introduction. I didn't bring my tap shoes. You know, when people think about poverty, one of the things they don't think about normally is energy burden, the cost of home energy. And the Secretary just asked me what it is on average in the International District, and it approaches 20%. That means 20% of hardworking New Mexicans are paying that much money for their energy. Now, another thing that people don't think about often is when we want to reach our climate goals, we can't do that without addressing the needs of low-income people in our state. And so when we think about that and think about this project, it is a model for how do we reach those most in need and hardest to reach. And it's a community-to-community model. There are people here who have been at the forefront of reaching these homes and other homes. East Central Ministries is one of those. We have a school liaison, which is another one, a community health worker, that's another one, and 3 pastors. And they reach out to the community and say, we can do this for you. So that's just one of the barriers that we have. The other barriers have to do with verification that I'm eligible. And we've removed that barrier. If you are someone who is in a Title I school district, you're eligible. If there's someone in your home who's on SNAP, you're eligible. If neither of those apply, look at this list that says income and family size and point to where it is that you are on that list. And when you do that, what we want you to do is then say, that's me. You are self-certifying, and removing that barrier is critical. One of the high costs of being low income is that you have to bleed to get anything. In this project, you don't have to do that. So it is with incredible partners from the City of Albuquerque, the Office of Senior Affairs, the Fire Department, and all of our community partners that we're able to do this. And we are so glad that you're here today to see it and to believe in it. And we hope that all of you are going to bring us some more money so that we can do it. I think Tammy estimated if we don't take action now, it's going to take 147 years to do the work we're doing here today for all the people who are low income who need it in New Mexico.
Do we have 147 years?
We do not have 147 years to wait. Let's do it now. Thank you so much for being here.
I want to introduce Tammy Feeblecorn from the Southwest Energy Efficiency Project to tell us how we're going to do it a lot faster.
Thanks, everybody. I am Tammy Feeblecorn. I'm with Southwest Energy Efficiency Project, and I really love this community energy efficiency project that we've developed. It's amazing to see us fighting climate change and also making sure that the benefits of that fight make it to our front line and disadvantaged communities. This is the goal that we've been working on for years, and this project is the culmination of that. When you're doing projects like this, you kind of have to think outside the box. The money that we got from the City of Albuquerque for this was originally going to go to fund a study. And we talked to Councilors Benton and Davis, who are both here today, and said, please, let's not use money for more studies. Let's help people. And they took up the charge, and they went out and they got that money put aside for this project to help real people with real benefits. And so I'm just super excited to be a part of it. I do want to mention that one of the great things about this project is that it's an energy efficiency first project. We talk a lot about electrification, and we love electrification, but we want to make sure that the units are efficient first so that we are coming in with the right size of units and systems. we're not making excess demand, and we're really making sure that every single person that lives in one of the units that we're able to help with this project reduces their energy burden overall, and that comes with efficiency first and then electrification. So it's a really exciting project. I want to thank the Secretary for coming out today, Senator and Congresswoman. We really appreciate all the attention on this project, and we're really excited to just get moving and get these benefits to the folks that live here at Casa Shalom. And I want to introduce real quickly Joanne Garcia from Energy Works. She's actually on the team that's doing the work inside the units, and she'll tell us a little bit more.
Thank you so much. I'm with Energy Works, and since 2010, we've been serving about 25,000 families, helping them save energy and save money. We do this by installing LED light bulbs. Somebody asked me, people are still using incandescent light bulbs. They are. We have removed thousands of incandescent light bulbs. We do this by putting insulation in people's homes. We remove shower heads. You know, we remove 2.5 gallons of shower heads by installing 1.5 gallons in shower heads. That's thousands of gallons that we help people save. So thank you a las familias de Casa Shalom. Gracias por permitirnos entrar a sus casas. Es un honor estar en sus casas y ayudarles a ahorrar energía y ahorrar dinero. Gracias.
Or I'll just come up, right? First of all, thank you so much to Senator Heinrich and Congresswoman Stansbury for giving me the gift of this experience of being able to see you at Casa Shalom. Ruben, thank you for opening your home to be able to see what's possible. You know, at the Department of Energy, and especially under this president, and I'm here because I want to bring back your stories to the White House, right? So I can see and bring that back. And this president is really focused on environmental justice as part of his legacy. And when those are not just words, you are all aware that he has a big agenda, not just the bipartisan bill that just passed, but also the second bill that Congress will consider that is part of the Build Back Better agenda. His goal is to get 40% of the investments into frontline communities, into communities that should be first, but who are often the communities that experience the impacts of climate change the worst. And so the president has a big goal on electrification. It's true. He wants to get 100% of our electricity from clean and renewable sources by 2035. But a hugely important fuel is the fuel of efficiency, right? Because the cheapest form of fuel is the fuel that you don't have to spend any money on. Exactly. And so if there is a 20% energy burden here, I mean, that is a huge amount out of people's paychecks, right? And you've got to spend money on rent, and you've got to spend money on food, and you've got to spend money on childcare, and you've got to spend money on transportation. 20% is ridiculous. And of course, it is super expensive to be low income. It is the most expensive to be low income. So we want to make sure that we fix that problem. And by electrifying electrifying appliances and sealing up your homes, that is a big step. So the president has, in the bipartisan bill that was just passed, he said, you want more money? Well, $3.5 billion for additional funds in weatherization assistance. And in the second step, I know Senator Heinrich and Senator Van Hollen have a combined effort to put much more money into electrifying homes, like billions and billions more. So between the two, there will be significant federal assistance, in addition to the assistance that all of these other units of government and entities are providing. And thank you for you guys helping to make it streamlined, to have a stack that makes it easy for, that it's not, because it's so complicated. You want to demystify it, right? And make it easy to access and not have everybody filling out a million forms and a million things. So we want to make it super simple. And so you're fortunate now, and of course I love my boss, so I have to say you're fortunate to have a president who really is, his heart is with people. and making sure that he lives up to the commitments that he has made to himself and perhaps to his maker to make sure that he serves all of our communities. And this energy side of things is really important. The reason why physically it's important to be here is really to see you, to see this on the ground. The senator has set up a whole series of events like this for me to see what's happening in New Mexico. There's an expression in South Africa, it's a greeting, and it goes Sawubona. And Sawubona means, I see you. And the response is Sikona, which means, I am here. It's important to be seen, it's important to be heard, and it's important for me to be able to tell your story back in Washington, D.C., where policy is made. Thank you for the privilege of being able to be here and share with you, and have you share with me. Thank you.
So this gift, if you see this, don't tell me no, tell me how. That's a motto that has been adopted by Prosperity Works. But it's a motto that all of these leaders need to have also, because the work that they're doing is so important.
Love it. Yay! Don't tell me no, tell me how. Let's get it done. Right?
Yes,
All right.
Any questions for the secretary or any of our other leaders here?
Ms. Feeblecorn, I think you might be the one who might be able to answer this, but how much money is in this fund to address the issues at this unit here, and how much money is expected in the future for other projects?
So the city of Albuquerque set aside $100,000. And that would not go very far if we weren't able to use the capital stacking model that Prosperity Works has developed. So under that capital stacking model, we are using all of the free resources that are out there. So we go into this unit, Doug and Joanne from Energy Works do an energy audit and determine what's needed. And then they look at the options of what's needed and see what we can get for free under the utility energy efficiency programs that are required under the Efficient Use of Energy Act. What if there's something that we could get for free from the Senior Affairs Department from the City of Albuquerque? If there's any other local resources that have free options, we use all of that. And then anything that's left over, any measure that's maybe not cost effective, that's not included in the energy programs from the utilities, that $100,000 will go to pay for those measures. So it really allows us to stretch the amount of benefits we're able to provide to people a long way for $100,000. Now obviously we need way more than $100,000, but we are using this Casa Shalom as kind of a pilot to show the benefits of the work that Councilor Davis and Councilor Benton put in to get us that money, and hopefully we'll see more from the city level and also from the federal level with all the money coming in from the Relief Act.
And just to add on to that, if we can get this reconciliation bill passed, and that's a big lift, but we could see as much as $10 billion additional for point of sale rebates, which would be a big stack on top of that capital stack. And what that does is, say you have a technology like air source heat pump water heaters that are a few $100s more expensive than the gas water heater, but then that levels that out. So you save from day one. Every month you're paying less on your utility bills, and that saves the resident in perpetuity into the future. So we're looking at potentially as much as $10 billion in those rebates, and $10 billion for state energy efficiency programs, which support these efforts to seal up and do energy efficiency first.
Let me just say that, yeah, I mean, so glad to be able to speak for the labs. The labs are obviously doing, all the labs, we have 17 labs, but you fortunately have 2 of them here, and they're all doing research on the next generation technologies that will help us to seamlessly use less energy and use renewable energy. And so the funding that will be in this reconciliation bill and in the bipartisan infrastructure will go to both serve that research as well as the infrastructure needs that are necessary at the labs to be able to get there. And part of the part of that reconciliation bill, as the senator said, will be for energy efficiency, and part of it will be to incentivize, hopefully, utilities to be able to buy clean electricity. So we want to increase the demand through policy, and we have to increase the supply, as you say, through next generation technologies.
I'll give you a real quick example of how the labs are actually influencing all of this. Sandia National Labs did the fundamental research on LED diodes. So we were able to go from 100-watt light bulbs to light bulbs that produce the same amount of light for 5 watts, right? That's a 20 times improvement in efficiency. And that's the kind of work that our national labs do all the time.
All right. And thank you guys so much. We want to keep them on schedule unless the Secretary has any final words.
You're good. Thank you all so much. Thanks everybody for being here. Thank you. Oh yeah, one picture with everybody behind the y'all. Okay.
And that is the word there from the folks on the ground over at that Southeast Albuquerque apartment complex. You can see Secretary Jennifer Granholm, the U.S. Department of Energy Secretary, touring with several members of New Mexico's federal delegation, to include Representative Melanie Stansbury and also U.S. Senator Martin Heinrich, out there today at a Southeast Albuquerque apartment complex looking at an energy efficiency project where they electrified a lot of the appliances in those homes, and then also ended up doing a lot of work to seal things up and get just more efficient appliances and whatnot. So a very interesting project that was highlighted out there today. In terms of what's next for them, they are headed to a few other places in Albuquerque, to include Pajarito Power, as we understand, and also one of these other spots here in my notes. I wanted to make sure to get it right. Kairos Power. The Secretary of Energy is touring those spots today.